I haven't seen Cadenzi play. The last time I saw her was when Rhett was still playing.
Oh God!
So this was like 2 years ago. Clearly, Cadenzi has upped her skill quite a bit, but she's going up against Cross, who's a Korean, does Korean builds. He's like 2,400 MMR. It's gonna be pretty tough for her to make it through, but maybe she can do it. She is the Ghostly League champ.
Now look, I like to say that this is a battle between the flag traders. Look, we had a BSL rule where like each player only gets one flag, and then Crossy and Cadenzi show up and we're like, damn, looks like we got to give them both different flags. So we gave the European player a Korean flag, and then we gave the Korean flagger, the Korean player, a Canadian flag, and we're just giving away flags right and left. Do you get a Korean flag now? Do I get a Korean? Are we Korean commentators, Nyoken?
I saw in chat yesterday they were talking about how you got the Korean hairstyle. So maybe
oh
you
yeah,
get
is that what I got?
I don't have it yet. I haven't asked for the 2 block yet, but maybe once I get that,
I definitely got
flag.
Yeah, it was a bad haircut. Let's just say that. Yeah, why is that not a Scottish flag? Look, so in theory, the Union Jack is supposed to be the confluence of each one of the representative flags of Great Britain. And all I'm trying to say is that the flag of Wales has a dragon on it, and I don't see no dragon on there. So what's up with that? Either way, it is exciting to see the final Gosu League player left in BSL Pro League facing off against Crossy. Now, Crossy is kind of a wild card to me because this is a guy that Artosis beat to qualify for the Corrupted Cup last. And, let's just set it at that. He has made it into BSL before, twice, and he's made it to the round of 16 then. So let's see if he can make it on the round of 16 once again as he faces off against Cadenzi. The first map in their series is, as always, Match Point, and it is a best of 1 because it's one of the first few games of the group. And so without further ado, let's get into it. It's Cadenzi versus Crossy on Match Point to find out which player will advance on to the winner's match. Okay. Just a small announcement. After the broadcast, we will actually be doing the group draw. So previously, we were going to move the group draw to tomorrow, but we wanted to give players an extra day to kind of practice and prepare. So we're going to be doing the group draw immediately following this group. So get ready. Big thanks to Zero's BSL partner in crime, Krocha, who will be helping out with the group draw after the show. So get ready for that. But first, we have to know which players to draw. So in the bottom left-hand corner, in the red is Zerg is Crossy.
And in the top right, we've got the blue Zerg. It is Cadenzi. So, as I was saying, Cadenzi has been in Korea for quite a while. Definitely improved her skill quite a bit being here, getting taught by players like Effort, Jaedong, people of that caliber. But Crossy, he is a meta guy. He really pays attention to the meta. Now it's ZVZ though, where anything goes. Ling all in, Muta all in, Mass Scourge. I don't know how much the Korean meta is going to be a factor here. We've got a 9-pool gas from Cross. Meanwhile, Cadenzi looks like we might be setting up for a 12 hatch.
12 hatch in ZVZ. Maybe a little bit risky, but here comes the drone. So, yeah, this is about, as far as the ZVZ rock, paper, scissors goes, definitely the most economic opening, but also the hardest to defend. So there's a lot of pressure on Cadenzi right now to be able to hold on against what is, I guess, a pretty aggressive opener from Crossy.
Yeah, this is gonna be very hard for Cadenzi to stop. She's going for the 12 hatch 11 pool, not the 11 hatch 10 pool, which I think does have a chance at holding it. But this is Crossy going. Is he going to get speed? It's 6 lanes coming, match point, and also the Overlord. I don't know if the Overlord's actually going to be in a good enough position to intercept the links. Okay, yeah, it's going to intercept the links, so she's going to see what's coming. But this is going to be so difficult for her to actually hold. She may actually have to cancel it. But if she cancel it, the Ling's going to the main. So this is just a
Yeah.
world of hurt for her.
It's a problem. So she's gonna see the Zerglings right now. 6 Zerglings on the way, and so it's time to pull some drones. Get ready because it's coming. And if you're gonna cancel it, you might as well do it sooner rather than later. The spawning pool's not even finished yet, and the Zerglings are already halfway across the map.
She's got 2 larvae available, so we're gonna have 4 Lings popping out pretty soon, including she's actually gonna have 8 Lings pop out. Here comes that 3rd larva. Nat should be pretty close to done. There it is. So we're gonna have 8 Lings popping out, but Lings are already on top of it. Cadenzi pulling so many drones, all of them.
All of the drones.
There's only like 1 mining.
She's like, absolutely not. No, you will not be able to kill this hatchery, but it's going down so low. She's actually going to have to target it down. The drones are actually getting focused, so one of those will actually fall. The hatchery finishes, trying to glitch out some of the Zerglings, but the hatchery is going down. And even though a few of the Zerglings pop out, that's a very expensive price to pay for a couple of extra larvae.
And Crossy has speed, so he can just run away. And Cadenzi pulled every single drone on minerals except for 1. So she really doesn't have any econ at all, and she just leaves.
So that game was 3 minutes and 38 seconds, living up to the ZVZ stereotype, I would say. And that's just how visceral these build order counters can be. And I mean, it is Korea to America. That's not that bad as far as latency is concerned, but it's still, it might have been a little bit hard to control the drones, like to glitch out the Zerglings around the hatchery. Either way, that's how build orders work.
Yeah, 9 pool's so hard to stop when you go 12 hatch, and especially since it wasn't the 11 hatch 10 pool. I think with the 11 hatch, maybe could have held it, but regardless, Cadenzi goes down 0-1. She's going to be in the losers match.
Yeah.
Now we're going to be going into Ultra versus, who's the other Zerg?
Kaido.
Kaido.
Yeah.
So these are Ultra we see every single time.
Oh, yeah. Ultra's here every day.
But Kaido, another newcomer coming up from ladder, I think he got in.
That's
he
true,
just
yeah.
barely got in there. And most people don't know him. He's in Nas with Dragon and Sugo.
Oh, is he?
Those types of players. I think his MMR is like around 2,200, 2,300. So pretty good. And he's definitely going to be on the same tier as Ultra. So this should be a really close match.
It should be pretty close, although it's always very interesting to me to see how players make it into BSL. As you can see, he's got no BSL achievements because this is his first time here. He's never even qualified for BSL before, even like Gosu League or ladder tournaments or anything. So total newcomer and kind of a big mystery to me. I don't think I've ever even cast him in like STPL before. So this is really interesting to see just a total new face. Whereas you've got players like Cadenzi, who's played in a ton of tournaments, trained for a very long time, and still has not had a debut in Pro League. So went all the way through Gosu League and has a lot of stats, a lot of games played. Kaido is comparatively a little bit newer, especially when compared to guys like Ultra, who's been in like every season of BSL except the first 2.
Yeah, and I played Kaido in, I think it was USA versus Canada, and we had like a really crazy close game. So his Zerg versus Terran is really good, and I'm excited for this because I do think this is going to be quite even. Look at the MMR. It's 2287 to 2322. That's what I was saying, 2200 to 2300 for Kaido. So this should be a really good game. I don't expect to see like a 5-minute or 10-minute game. I expect to see 15, 20.
The Nyoken curse hard at work, so we'll get right on that one. Look, at least some people are looking out for my bedtime. It's only 4:45, and we finished at like 7:30 yesterday, so let's see if we can do it again. So let's get into game number 2. This is the second game in Group F, our final group in the round of 24. Let's see who's going to advance on. It's Ultra versus Kaido on match point. Okay, here we are in the bottom left-hand corner of the map match point in the brown playing Zerg from America. This is Kaido.
In the top right, we've got our Terran for the group. It is Ultra. Yeah, so Ultra, every time I see him play, really aggressive. I think I've even seen him go up to like 6 barracks. But he's got really good Marine Medic play. I don't see him play mech as often, just like I don't really see Casper play mech that often. As I said that yesterday, he ended up playing mech. So we may see something like that. If we're going to go for mech, Ultra didn't get the spawn for it because can't wall
Yeah.
off great here. But
Well, I mean, you can.
you can, but
just,
you don't see it often.
No, for sure. It's suboptimal. So yeah, especially with these spawns, I actually we've seen some success out of the Goliath opener, but I think that's maybe more just as a mix-up when you play against a player who usually goes bio and surprises you with the mech. Less so here, and I don't know exactly what these players' record is against each other, but you know, as far as BSL goes, Kaido's brand new, so obviously super skilled, but let's see. Ultra's a nice litmus test to kind of see where you are. I wouldn't say Ultra is the best player, but he's definitely not the worst. He's definitely good enough to be in BSL. He also qualified via the ladder qualifier, just like Kaido. So pretty interested. Let's see what this looks like.
Well, we do have a wall, so this does look like a Vulture opener. And even though I said Ultra plays bio most of the time, Mech is really good on match point. It's got that small choke, just like maps like Tau Cross, which is so annoying to deal with mutas on. So if he does go for Goliath, this is going to be a good choice on this map in particular. Now we do have Kaido. I think when I played him, he played 3 hatch. He was like a big macro Ling lurker type of guy. We have to wait and see whether he wants to go. Ooh, that looks like it's going to be 2 hatch this time. So cool gas. So this is pretty much the de facto go-to build these days. We'll have to wait, see how he wants to use this 2 hatch. Is he all in Mutaman? Is he Guardian Man? Is he taking a 3rd hatch? What is this at exactly? It's so hard to tell from the get-go until we actually get into the mid-game.
It's been a cool minute since I've seen Guardian Man. I'm a big fan, but he doesn't come out very often. So in the end, I don't think this SCV is going to see anything too out of the ordinary other than the exact hatchery spawning pool timing. And he'll know that it was pretty fast.
Yeah, now if Ultra knows his timings, he'll notice that this pool is too far along to be gassed before pool. And that means that there's no chance of this being speed. It can only be lair. If it is speed, lair is going to be super delayed. And there is the factory for Ultra. He does not have any more on gas, so this looks like the Goliath build. Usually when you go for the Goliath build, you pull completely off of gas. This is not going to be a starport. He would continue to be mining gas if that was the case.
Yeah. I mean, the big argument for a long time is 1-1-1 versus like barracks openers or you know, something more conservative. But this isn't really either one of those, you know.
Yeah, we're gonna wait and see if this does end up being a starport. There's still no SCVs on gas. Ultra is gonna put down his command center. Everything is very standard.
Yeah.
We've got a sunken coming up for Kaido, making sure that this Vulture doesn't come in and do any damage. Now he doesn't know if this is going to be Goliath or not. He sees that it is the factory. There could have been a starport right there, so I do like him poking in, but more than likely the starport would have been in the back right. So he doesn't really know exactly what this means since he can't see the gas.
So if he wanted to like really commit to the scout, then sure, he could make sure that it was or was not a starport.
Ooh, SCV. It's in.
Oh, wow. It does get in. Thankfully, it was caught immediately, but you know, it's kind of mission accomplished by then, right? And it's armory, so we are going to see that Goliath build.
Yes. So when you face 2 hatch, it's always a dangerous situation to send out your first Vulture. So that's why Ultra's just leaving it here. We see a drone coming out from Kaido. So this is going to be macro play, and this is, I don't want to say it's super greedy, but most of the time you build a 3rd hatch at your nat to prevent a Vulture run by. He's willing to just put it on location at top left. So he's going to have a little bit better econ than normal 3 hatch follow-up. And Ultra's going to build probably 3 Vultures to make sure he doesn't die to any type of speedling all in. He doesn't know exactly what's going on. Spire is about halfway done. Armory is done. What upgrade did he get? Did he get any upgrades? Oh, there we go. There's +1 armor.
Okay.
Just now started. But
now you're the expert on this because we definitely see armor or carapace for mutas, and that makes a little bit of sense. But is armor, when you're going for this Goliath build, totally mandatory?
Yeah, if you're doing a timing, you need armor because Mutalist just deals so much damage, and the armor nullifies a lot of the splash damage. Also, weapon doesn't really help you deal damage to Mutalist since they're only taking half damage. So really, it's a bigger deal to just get armor in the early game. So we do see the armor, and that is going to mean that he's going to do a timing. It doesn't necessarily mean he has to move out, but generally that's what it means. We saw Casper go +1 weapon yesterday. But he had success with it, but generally you don't go for that. Now, Ultra comes in and sees that there's no patch at the entrance. So some players would run by this. If he's really thinking about it, he should try and scout around and see if there's a hidden base now that he has map control. It's not like Link's can go stop him right now. But Mutalisk come out. Did he build any Scourge with it? Looks like it's just pure Mutas at this point, so he still doesn't know whether it's Goliath or Race or something else, such as Vessels.
I mean, he's going to catch some free vultures, so at least that's nice. You were talking about how important it is to keep those safe. Well, now they're not there anymore. So complete vision control and map control to Kaido. And let's see if Ultra is ready for this.
Here comes Kaido. There's turrets set up at the natural. Perfect timing from Ultra. I love the barracks sitting over the nat, so he has full vision in case they try to swoop in from the top side. Really not dealing any damage. Goliath with range already. Pick off the Overlord. That supply blocks Kaido, so this third hatch that he has at top left is not going to get online as fast as he wants. We do only have 2 factories for Ultra right now. Oh, actually 3 factories, so he's really going to be out on the map pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, poking in, finding maybe a weak point. Turns out it wasn't as weak as he thought it was. Heads right back out again. And this is kind of like in Mutas versus Bio. It's like you have to put on enough pressure to keep the Terran player building up a critical mass and going out to kill your base. It's only 6 Mutas right now. That's not that much. And there's more than enough Goliaths to push it back for sure.
Yeah, but Kaido has a bunch of gas banked up. He was supply blocked, so now he's unsupply blocked. He's going to build a ton of Mutalisks, and this actually is going to be mass Mutaman. And I'm a little bit worried for Kaido because the top left base, it's not like you build Sunkens in one position. You can come in from multiple angles to actually get into the hatchery. So he's going to have to spam a bunch there. He's also going to have to spam a bunch at his natural. Now, if he survives, of course, he's in an amazing position. But in my experience versus mass Mutas, Goliaths generally win unless the Mutalisk can buy time. But Ultra's moving out right now. There's about 12 Mutas maybe versus like 12 Goliaths. And they went unscouted so far. Oh my gosh, they even avoid the Overlord.
How did they skip that Overlord? That's crazy. Well, the Mutas are going in, and there's not a lot to protect here. There's a couple of turrets, but those are going to get taken out pretty quickly, because now the Muta count is actually pretty scary. There's a couple of Goliaths left back at home, but that is not going to cut it. Trying to take down all the turrets, and he does. The last few Goliaths are falling. He's really investing quite a bit into this, but he's finally going to pull off because he sees that, wait a second, Goliaths have teleportation. They somehow made it to the entire other side of the base, or of the map, and they're taking out this very vulnerable, very important upper left-hand base.
Oh, Kaido needs to go right now while they're attacking the Sunken. If he fights now, I don't think he can win this fight. Goliath did take a bit of damage to the Sunken.
So did the Mutas, though, when they were out there attacking the other side of the map. It's a very close fight, but Carapace is finished for both of them, so I think that actually will allow Kaido to clean up the Goliaths here, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, Kaido does clean it up, but he took a bunch of damage there, losing his Sunkens. He really doesn't even have Econ going at top left either. Vulture killed a few drones there. Meanwhile, sure, Ultra lost a lot of Goliaths there, and he lost a couple Goliaths in his main, but he's going to have +1 power spike pretty soon. Kaido doesn't have the big Econ kicking in just yet. Now he's transitioning into Hydras. I do think Ultra needs to be careful, though, because if he loses these Goliaths, he's not going to have critical mass for his 1-1 timing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing. Is like if you throw away your units in that trade, whatever comes next is just not as strong. So, like you said, everything up here is just the soft white underbelly of the Zerg player. So it's very, very weak. He's having to spam Sunkens up there. The economy, like that base is not going to pay for itself for a while. Just now getting the drone mining up and running, and I mean, it's certainly still vulnerable. I guess he did rebuild a control group of Mutas, but he's tech switching into Hydras behind this.
Turret's going to fend off the Mutas. I guess he knows that the Goliaths have to be somewhere because, again, they're not sitting there in the main. And generally, when you're defending Mutas, you split them up in your nat and the main. So he's turning around, trying to find any Goliath that he can possibly find in the center of the map. He's going to find a command center. That's just as good. That's going to get picked off.
Ooh.
And Ultra's turning around. So this 1-1 timing that he has, he needs to do something with it. But remember, he lost those 12 Goliaths in the center of or at top left. So really, this is like 15 Goliaths versus a guy that's just spamming Sunkens. That really can't bust anything.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to try? Question mark. But especially if he hits these Sunkens right as the Mutas come back, that is the worst of both worlds. The Goliaths all die, and then the Mutas go kill everything. So definitely time to be careful. There's actually only 2 turrets at that base, so pretty vulnerable, but you can't overcommit to killing that base and then lose everything on your side of the map. So Sunken Wall is in position. It's only 3, but Goliaths aren't that great at busting through Sunkens. We're still totally Goliath, man, but we finally started researching Siege mode and pumping out the first tank.
Yeah, Hydras are coming out for Kaido now. He's got +1 weapon coming in. He's got range coming in. So we're going to see a Hydra switch. And one of the toughest parts about playing this Goliath play is, a tank picked off by some Mutas.
He's diving for the next one. Oh my god, he's down to 0.
That is painful because you don't know how many, if this is just hidden Mutalisk, you don't know if it's Queens. What exactly is Kaido doing? Because generally you skip the academy for a long time. This is one of the main issues I have with this build is you don't know what it is that Zerg is doing. So if he comes out again with like 2 tanks, because generally you only have 3 to 5 when you move out, that's not going to be enough to deal with the Hydras. He's going to pick off another tank. No, that's so many Goliaths.
It's an insane amount of Goliaths, and actually the Mutas are kind of donezo at this point. They're down to like 6 or 5, and I mean, that's just not that scary. But that does leave the Terran player with basically nothing but Goliaths. He's got like a tank in there, like single-digit tank numbers. So let's see how effective this is now that we've got mass Hydras on the way.
Well, even though it was, oh god, he's going to fight on the high ground. +1 weapon for the Hydras haven't kicked in just yet.
I mean, this is still a pretty good position to fight in. It's just not enough numbers. Gonna wait for a couple more rounds of Hydras to come through, but okay, the upgrades have finally kicked in, so now he's fighting on even ground. That's gonna go even worse for him, and that's it. GG. Kaido taps out, and Ultra advances on to the winner's match.
Yeah, Ultra, he made it look easy. I thought that it was going to be closer than it is, but I guess Kaido just didn't wait for critical mass on his Hydras, and the 1-1 timing was just too strong. And he even got 2 tanks for free. There's only 2 tanks in that army. He just needed to wait for his econ to kick in. It is a little hard on match point because you get choked up outside of your nat. How do you ever get out? The choke is what, like that big? It's like impossible. So a bit unlucky there for Kaido. He had everything going for him. Top left for free. Remember that.
Oh yeah, I mean, he did try to attack it a little bit, but not really with any sort of effectiveness. And it was a nice trade, even when he did. So a nice debut by Kaido in the end. Unfortunately for him, Ultra will prevail and advance on to our winner's match, which will be coming up next. Kaido will fall down to face off against Cadenzi, right, in the lower bracket. So coming up next, Ultra will have to face off against Crossy to see who's going to advance out in first place. Like I said, both players have been perennial round of 16ers since they entered BSL, so it's not a surprise to see either one of them advance out in first place in this group.
Yeah, and Crossy, we didn't really get to see what he has in store because the game just ended so fast.
Oh yeah, what even happened there?
But Ultra has definitely played a build more unorthodox for him because I almost always see him play Bio. So that makes him even scarier in this group because I was expecting to see Bio play, even though Matchpoint was such a good mech map. And I know that Crossy hates facing mech, at least versus me, maybe because I just camp the whole time. So this might be Ultra actually making it out in first. I don't know.
I mean, Ultra played a pretty solid style, even if it was a little bit unorthodox. So maybe just a return to form playing Bio here. I would say that I guess Crossy, whose fundamentals are obviously super solid. You really want to go with what you feel most comfortable with. If you're trying to gimmick build or something that maybe your opponent won't expect, like a big Goliath push, then maybe this is not the time. The map is going to be La Mancha. We move on to that for our winner's match. So let's get into it and see who is going to be the first player to advance out of Group F, the final group of the BSL round of 24. All right, here we go in the upper right-hand corner in the yellow, playing Terran. From South America, it's Ultra.
And in the bottom left, we've got the blue Zerg. It is Crossy. So Crossy versus Cadenzi, 9 pool. He generally isn't aggro like that, at least in Zerg versus Terran, so I expect to see just a 12 hatch, but because Soma has kind of re-innovated how 2 hatch is played, we may see an overpool gas opening, we may see 12 pool opening, a build that I really didn't like for a long time. All of a sudden, I think it's actually not bad. We may actually see Ling Lurker. We saw Zero have success versus Flash with it.
I haven't seen that build since Zero did it. I was watching some, who was I watching? Zerg streamer, totally forgot. It was Larva the other day, and he was trying out this Queen build versus, well, not Queens, this Zero build from ASL, but beat Flash on ladder. Didn't see it win while he was trying it. So I have yet to see it emulated by foreign Zerg players. But hey, if there's ever a group where it's going to happen, it's going to be the Zerg from Korea and the Zerg in Korea in this group that might just bring it out.
Yeah, we've got Ultra going for another wall, and this is the one spawn that it's not the greatest to wall on, but because it's an overpool, it's not going to really bite him in the butt here. He's just going to go for probably mech again. This isn't Koget, so I don't think this is going to be race, but it could be.
I mean, that would really show that Ultra is trying to do builds that are tailored to his opponent, not really what he feels most comfortable with, because he is definitely not a Wraith man, and he's only somewhat a mech man, mostly a bio man.
Yeah, and we do have gas for him, so this is going to be tech play. We've got Crossy that did go for overpool, and this overpool is really not going to help him at all. The Lings are going to come out and do absolutely no damage.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see, is it 2 hatch gas, or is he going to take a 3rd hatch? Because overpool, I'm a big fan of it with the gas. Okay, there's the gas. So this is my preferred follow-up for the overpool. It keeps pressure on with the Lings, but because of the wall, that's not going to help him at all. But in a normal game with no wall, it's actually not bad. So we're going to have to see how much damage he can actually get done with Mutas. But now that there is a wall, Ling Lurker does become very viable. Do it for me, Cross.
I want to see it. I want to see it once. I want to see it work. Maybe this is the game. I'm I'm enjoying Ultra's commentary on his own games in chat. This is the best part of BSL, because this is almost live. Like, the games were played just a few minutes ago, so it's nice to see a little bit of extra analysis. Can he catch the SCV? Whoa! Can he get it into the main? Of course. I don't know why I even asked that question. It's an SCV.
So we do have Ultra did pull off of gas completely. So again, everything looks like the Goliath opener. And remember, these players were not able to watch the stream, for example. So it's not like Crossy just knew that Ultra played mech versus Kaido.
Yeah.
So he has really no idea exactly, is this Wraith, is this Goliath, is this Ultra run by like SPX tried to do? There is no command center just yet. I did see that Ultra built like 3 Marines, so that's what's delaying it a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that's an insane amount of Marines. It definitely doesn't commit him to bio, but might be a little bit more normal. Oh my god, I thought he actually left the barracks lifted, but no, he landed that back down. Even still, the Zergling just scouting up, seeing that there's a wall. See if this changes him into that lurker pathway.
He's not as
Probably
unlucky.
not.
He's not as unlucky as some players. In TSL, I was playing versus Draven, and I had a build plan.
Like Dreiven?
Yeah, Dreiven, a Polish player. And I lifted my racks. As soon as I lifted it, a Zealot walked in. I was so tilted. So tilted. It is so heartbreaking to lose like that. Here comes the first Vulture. Sunken's already up. Drone. Nice block. Oh, it glitches back out.
Yeah, that drone is a traitor. Lets the SCV in.
Well, oh, SCV not going to get taken out. I guess he's trying to make sure the Vulture doesn't run by the Sunken.
I mean, which is more deadly, an SCV in your base or a Vulture?
No. SCVs apparently are the worst workers, because why do I never see SCVs getting kills versus drones or probes?
We've literally seen drones and probes get worker kills.
How's that possible?
Well,
so, there's the 3rd hatch that I was talking about last game. Generally is placed right there to prevent run by. So now you can see how kind of greedy Kaido was taking an on-location base, because the Vulture could scout it easily. Now we do have Ultra going into the 2-fact follow-up. He's got Goliath range coming in. I don't see weapon or armor just yet, so we'll have to wait and see what he's going to get.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to be cool to see the difference in playstyles in the previous game versus this one. Ultra sticking with the same build. It's pretty good, but there's already Carapace on the way for Zerglings. We saw this build yesterday, or 2 days ago.
Carapace for ground.
Yeah.
You never see this as the response to mech. So I don't know, is this going to be Ling Ultra? Because Ling Ultra is really not a very good counter to mech play. Simply because of how hard, the weapon upgrades scale for mech.
Oh, yeah.
You don't really rush it. So I'm curious what this actually is. If he's going to go Hydras, a lot of players end up going damage. And we do have a Hydra Den coming in.
But the Hydras, or the Goliaths, have a high rate of fire. And so the Carapace helps out even more. The Hydras also have a high rate of fire. So the Carapace helps out even less than the attack upgrade. So I don't know. Yeah, I almost never see this. Zerglings are not, I guess, bad against Goliaths. You just need way too many of them. The Mutas are out. That's going to legitimate the Goliath's purpose. But already we see that behind this, Crossy is planning something dastardly. The Carapace Speed Hydras.
Yeah, he's got Hydras already coming out. He's got mid-left base coming up. Oh, he's 5-hatch even. And that is going to be him powering really hard. This is one of the hardest parts about playing the mech build is judging where you are. Sure, your 12 Goliath attack is strong, but if you run into mass Hydras, there goes that timing.
But Nyoken, why can't you just scan?
You don't have scan. That's what you do with this build. You always skip the academy because the academy is so expensive. It cuts into your Goliath production. And we did see last game, Mutalis comes in and does see that there's 3 factories already. So Crossy knows that this is definitely going to be a +1 armor attack. So he needs to start pumping out Hydras ASAP. And that's what we see.
They're just Carapace Hydras. I wonder, there's no way that was a mistake. I would say 9 times out of 10 when I see Hydras as the response to Goliath, because they're pretty good against Goliaths. Oh, wow, he can't even snipe that Goliath and he loses a bunch of Mutas. So now it's kind of the worst of all worlds. He doesn't have the attack upgrade. He doesn't have the Mutas, and he has Carapace Hydras behind this, so it's time. Is this the new way?
Carapace should actually theoretically be very strong because that makes the Goliath, I think, do 12 or 11 damage instead of 12. So they're going to be having to take an additional shot, I'm pretty sure. And he does have range, and he does already have a lot of Hydras already. And he does have 5-hatch. He's got good drone. He's actually got more drones than Ultra. Oh, no, he doesn't. That is a 3-8, not a 2-8.
Yeah.
So he has a decent amount of drones, a little bit behind Ultra. But Ultra, this is also cross spawn. So it gives Crossy a little bit more time to get up a bigger army. And it looks like Ultra's actually not going to attack because we already see a tank coming out. We have Vultures coming out, but they don't have +1 weapon. Generally, when you see Vultures, it's to snipe drones with +1 weapon, but he went armor. So I'm not too sure what these Vultures are actually designed for. Also, how does he know to stop building Goliaths? Last game, Kaido showed 11 Mutas, but you can hide Mutas. You don't have to show them all.
Well, especially that scouting Mutalisk earlier, being willing to throw that away might say that you're going to have a lot more Mutas behind it. Maybe not. But it at least gave Crossy the information that he needed to commit to this tech. I'm still really interested in the Carapace because it is going to be combined with +1. I think actually did +1 finish? No. It's just now started.
+1 damage is coming in for the Hydras now. +1 weapon for Ultra also. And Ultra's just sitting back. And if I was Crossy at this point, I'd really be kind of worried that this is the 2-1 style because what he's going for is really kind of like swamping timing. And if you're stuck with mass Hydra versus a Terran that's just sitting with mass tank, mass vessel, you don't want that. But he's actually got a good response because he should go out with the timing pretty soon. Queens are already out. 100 more energy, so that means 2 minutes for the Queens to actually come into play. Usually 1-1, you're moving out at 10:15 or 10:30. So actually, all of these Queens are pretty much useless to Crossy for the next minute and a half.
I mean, that is not going to coincide well with this push. Ultra still has very minimal information. The best thing he can scan is the Hydra Den and the Evo chamber, which I mean should maybe tell him what should already be readily available.
We got vultures running around the left side. +1 weapon is going to kick in about 45 seconds. Look at the larva actually block the natural. Doesn't even have to put units there. Just the sunken and the larva blocked it. So that's pretty slick. Vultures do get picked off by the hydras though. He didn't see the queens either, so he still doesn't know where they are. And I did see, what, 5 queens, 4 queens, 4?
No, I think there were 5.
4 Crossy, and generally, like
4.
I said, you move out with 3 to 5. So this should pick off every single tank, and Ultra is moving out now. Remember, queens still need 1 more minute of energy, but if he can stall it, that's fine.
Well, here comes the push. It's already funneling into the middle of the map, and I mean, this is La Mancha, so there's all this really great high ground for the Goliaths to get on top of to make it really difficult. Oh, that's 2 dead. Hydras. Yeah, so it makes it really hard for the Hydras to fight up and down these little windmill mountains.
Ultra's in trouble. Even though Crossy is down 15 supply is fine, especially when you have 5 hatches, and we're on the brink of having the amount of energy he needs on the queens. It should be at like 130 or so. Don't fight now.
Yeah, you got to pull back. You just got to have to buy as much time as possible. These queens are everything. Overlord sacking those.
That's fine. It keeps Ultra back.
Yeah. Just anything to buy time. 2 overlords, you know, that's money well spent. Still 10 more energy. 40, 41, 42. But it's here. It's time. You got to go now.
Yeah, we got to get these queens in position. It looks like Crossy forgot about his queens. He's not moving. Okay, now he's moving them. Is it too late though? No, don't attack now. Oh, he's actually just gonna find isolated tanks in the back.
Oh my god, these tanks are totally unprotected. He's gonna run all the hydras right up on him. Finally, the queens come through, but the tanks are actually already dead. Just a sandwich of hydras seems to have really just cleaned this up.
He just crushed that army very easily. And now, even though Ultra's up 25 workers, he's in deep trouble. The counter is gonna be very strong because the queens didn't use any of their energy. Crossy can either continue to build more hydras.
Bring in the broodlings with the attack force. The budget zerglings.
Ultra might just die here. There's, what, 4 tanks? He has 4 queens with all of the energy available. Goodbye tank. Goodbye another tank. There's 2 left. He has 5 units.
And then Ender's not siege. The Hydra's just walking up on him. And this is devastation. That third base is DED dead, and the rest of it might just follow. This Hydra counter is so strong.
Yeah, Hydras are so strong versus mech, even though you would think they're not. Hydra, Queen, so deadly. Crossy is very committed with this. He has such a low drone count. Ultra,
oh no,
he's going to lose a command center, but that's not a huge deal. It could get infested. Where's the queen?
That's what I was thinking.
I think that's just what went by.
Yeah, he's got queens. Where's the command
It's in there.
It's low enough.
He got it.
Hey, what's good?
What's good?
There it is. I think Crossy is trying to talk about who's in first place, mentally, physically, ecumenically. It's all there. He's just won the whole total game. The moral victory, the actual victory, it's his.
Well, Ultra still has a big army. He's still up 30 supply, but it's all in workers. So again, he's got to be very careful to fight here. But at least the queens have used most of their energy, and now he does have 5 tanks, which will deal a lot of damage. But Crossy, he's got so many hydras, but he needs to be careful to not do a drone cycle right now since Ultra's moving out.
Losing a few precious Goliaths. I mean, Ultra's just trying to go for it. He still has a pretty strong force, but he's got to go before this +2 weapons finishes.
I don't know where Crossy gets this money from. Here he comes. He's going to try and jump on it. It's a really tiny army, but the tanks have high ground now.
Well, I mean, they're going to have to back up and siege. They're in the process of sieging, allowing the Hydras to get really, really close. Hydras are dealing just so much damage, but they have the mischance of the low ground. The tanks dishing out massive damage from the high ground, and the Hydras melting in front of the withering Goliath fire.
That was not the engagement that Crossy needed. The high ground, too impactful, and he has absolutely no econ. He's still going all out on Hydras. He has 29 drones versus 64 SCVs. Command Center is going to finish for Ultra. He can take a third base easily. He's also got a bank.
Look, land the infested CC in the main and build an infested Terran, blow up all the SCVs, win the game, easy. You can take my suggestion if you want to. Otherwise, you have to accept the consequences, which is losing all your Hydras, trying to fight uphill into siege tanks, and now facing the wrath of very highly upgraded Terrans.
Now, where are the queens that Crossy had? I don't think they got sniped. They should have energy.
Oh,
there
here they
are.
come.
So they almost have energy again. It looks like 3 of them have energy. Goliath's way too far ahead. Oh, but here come the queens. There's 5 tanks, I think.
They're going to get targeted down before they broodling. It's 1 broodling, 2 broodlings. They can't actually get that last one off, but it's going to be enough. The Hydras move forward. They're going to snipe all of the tanks. And man, history repeating itself.
He wants another
That's
command
so
center taken
funny.
away from him.
I was going to say, like, wait a second. What is this, Holy World? There's already a command center there. Haha. He hasn't built an infested Terran out of it yet, so we haven't completely won the game. But it's coming.
Yeah, well, this command center is finally going to go down. I really need to see some drones from
Yeah,
Crossy.
Crossy has 28 drones.
There we go. There's 7 being produced, so he's going to have a big influx of money now. But yeah, he's desperately needs to saturate bottom middle. He's got 6 hatch, I think, 35 workers to 70 workers of the Terran. But the army is still very strong for Crossy. Command center's going to go down, maybe, but he's going to lose a bunch of units here.
Especially if he segments this
gosh.
off and catches a tank. I don't think he has energy to broodling that either way. Man, retaking this, unfortunately, we did not see an infested Terran, so never mind. It's actually a moral defeat because he could have built one but didn't. It's actually probably not worth it, but the style points. Anyway, so Ultra's secured 3 bases, and on the other side, even though Crossy has 4 bases, he has not enough workers to saturate them.
Uh-oh, Vulture's running down to bottom middle. There's no drones or no defense here.
Okay,
Luckily,
actually,
the drones get evacuated, so they're not actually going to get sniped. But
broodling the vultures.
so this base is going to get denied, but at least this gives Crossy a little bit of breathing room because he desperately needed to get some more econ going. Still 40 workers to 70, though.
Yeah, I mean, supply is also just not that great for Crossy. He keeps fighting back against all odds, but these vultures might just seal the deal. If he loses any more workers, he'll just never catch up.
Oh
my God.
It gets the drones.
And I think some larvae there too. Regardless, no, just the drones. More carnage coming in as the vultures just wreak havoc everywhere. I thought he was going to send vultures down south too, but he's too busy killing all the drones up here.
Well, what's going on the map that's preventing Crossy from defending this defending this attack? It doesn't look like there's anything happening.
I can't figure it out. He's got a Muta trying to take out the mines and the vultures. That's going to take forever. All the drones dead. That base just not mining, and Crossy is in trouble.
Yeah, and now Ultra took a huge lead, 150 to 70. He's got science facility coming up now. He's got double armory coming. Sure, Crossy has +2 weapon. Damn, that's so many vultures. Vultures can probably just end the game by themselves, laying mines everywhere. Bottom middle is going to go down. There's 4 Hydras. Definitely not enough damage to save this base.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Vulture Man coming for you. He's also got pretty good upgrades, 1-1, and then actually not starting +2 just yet. But either way, they're super powerful. Mines being laid. Hydras can't fight that. There's too much stuff to target. Hydras being targeted down here, and another base shut down by this Vulture harass.
Yeah, Crossy's just not able to keep up with the production of Ultra. There's just too much Vultures everywhere. Drones going down left and right. Hydras even taking damage from the mines. Vultures can just overwhelm the Hydras, and I think this is probably just going to be game over pretty soon. There's just really not a lot left for Crossy. Another Vulture attack through the middle, probably going to go to mid left soon. Meanwhile, banking up those tanks. Once we get 12, that's going to be the death sentence.
Well, here we go. Man, watching the Hydras try to funnel across into a Vulture concave is not great. Eventually, of course, the numbers will overwhelm, but I mean, that's what it took to secure a base that won't be mining for minutes. Trying to get back up here, we've already sealed that base off, and so finally, I guess Crossy's stabilized, question mark?
Yeah, he's stabilized for now, simply because Ultra's not attacking.
Yeah,
but as we say that, here he comes.
Turns out there's 20 tanks on the other side. There's actually probably 20 tanks there. And plenty of Goliaths, so there's no Muta tech switch that's possible. Building queens at this point will never have energy to use, and it seems like a little bit too little, too late.
EMP coming in. We've got the double armory coming in too. We don't have +2 started just yet. He's still got 1-1, but this is just an overwhelming amount of units. It's like 150 to 90. There's nothing Crossy can do. He needed to have at least equal supply here. He's trying to make queens, but they don't have the energy despite having the energy upgrade.
I mean, even the number of queens he would need to use a significant amount of broodling is just astronomical. He'd have to build like 20 queens, and he lost the queens from earlier, so there's just not enough. He does have a few queens. I guess they do have energy maybe now. I guess maybe he didn't lose the queens from earlier, so he's got 4 broodlings here. You want to use it on centralized tanks so that the broodlings create splash damage. Unfortunately, just not enough.
Yeah, there's just too many tanks, and this Vulture by itself denies bottom middle. So this is going to be Ultra going up 1-0 in the series versus Crossy. There's 0 chance of him holding it. He had good defense the entire game up until the Vultures in the past couple minutes, but now it's just too much.
Yep, too much. GG. Crossy taps out, and Ultra will be the player to advance on out of this final group of BSL round of 24 in first place.
Yeah, and his mech looked pretty good. Crossy had good defense in the early stages. You always get very scared when they overwhelm your timing like that. You're like, oh no, because 1-1 doesn't have a really good follow-up without Irradiator +2. But Ultra makes it out. He makes it in the top 16 again. I was looking at his profile. We were top 16, top 24 every single time. So maybe this is the year.
Mr. Consistency. Well, you probably want to be consistent in making it a little bit higher. So maybe this is the year. He's in the round of 16, and one player will advance on to follow him there. As the final player to advance to the round of 16 tonight, or ever, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. So don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll crown the final player to advance on to the round of 24 coming up next. And we're back with the final games in Group F.
Yeah.
Killed it. How many more 3-minute games? That's my question.
It's ZVZ. It could be 4 more.
Yeah, that's right. We do get a little bit of the salty run back here. I don't know what to expect here. Okay, look, we've got Cadenzi, who has obviously won many tournaments before, has lived in, trained in, competed in Korea for a very long time. Now, back, not from outer space, but from a tour de force, ready to cram some Brood War down these players' throats. But standing in her way, an American ready to fight against the British oppression. Well, Scottish, but actually, I guess Scottish and Americans have a lot in common. Those dastardly redcoats. Anyway, we've got a best of 3 ahead of us, and I don't know who's going to win here because I know a lot about Cadenzi just because she's obviously competed in many tournaments before and is the champion of the Gosu League versus Kaido, who we know relatively little about aside from watching his previous game.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect from Cadenzi or Kaido. We didn't get to see what Cadenzi wanted to do in game 1. It just ended. Kaido, I've only played him like once or twice ever. You know, of course, TVZ is completely different, and I've never seen him play anything other than that. So, curious to see if he can actually take out Cadenzi here, or if Cadenzi can move on versus Crossy and see if she can actually make it out of this group.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a best of 3, so you've got more time to think about whether or not you want to 12 hatch or not. Obviously, that first game was a little bit of a build order loss. Well, actually, entirely a build order loss, but you know, there's more builds you can do that don't lose just instantly to that. So let's see what she has in store and whether or not Kaido, as a newcomer to BSL, can really kind of surprise everybody and make it out of this group. It all starts now on Sylphid, so let's get into game number 1 of our elimination match. All right, here we go in the 12 o'clock location from America. In the yellow, it's Kaido.
And in the bottom right, in the blue, we have Cadenzi. So Cadenzi instantly lost with the 12 hatch. Now again, Kaido doesn't know that, so we may end up seeing the 12 hatch here from her as a kind of just, I didn't get to do what I had planned, so I'm going to try to go for it again. Or she may be thinking like, hey, maybe I can't play so greedy, so she maybe go into something more safe, like a 12 pull or an over pull, or maybe she's so salty she's going to go for the 9 pull herself.
Yeah, where's my 9 pool speeds at? That's what I want to see. Obviously, I think the stereotype is that, especially on the Korean server, you just get 9 pooled a lot. That's sort of the litmus test to like, are you allowed to play Brood War? Can you hold on against the 9 pool? It's a pretty standard aggressive build, and it's, I think, one of the builds that gives the Zerg the stereotype of just being a very rush-oriented race, because it's really powerful. That being said, if you do it, you are sacrificing a lot of economy, so there's that rock, paper, scissors. So let's see what's going on here. Neither player with a spawning pool just yet, right as I say that. Spawning pool comes down on 9 for Cadenzi.
Yeah, over pool for Cadenzi, definitely much safer than the 12 pool, and it looks like Kaido's going to be the one that goes for 12 hatch this time. He's got 2 drones coming out. He's going to go for a 12 hatch.
So 12 hatch into 9 pool speed.
But over
pool speed.
Yeah, but over pool is definitely not as deadly as a 9 pool. So Kaido should definitely be able to hold this pretty easily. We've got the gas coming up for Cadenzi. This is most likely going to be for fast lair.
I mean, okay, I see what you're saying. Let's see if okay, instantly, yeah, into gas. No big surprises here. I'm just waiting to see what the response is on the other side. Not overreacting. Kaido still doesn't know exactly what to expect because he scouted incorrectly with his Overlord. So this is a little bit risky to do a blind 12 hatch in a ZVZ.
Yeah, so Kaido has a really good opener here. His gas is sure a little bit later than Cadenzi. She's probably going to have maybe like an extra 100, 150 gas as long as Kaido stays only on 1 gas. But the longer the game goes, the better position Kaido's going to be in. It's 6 lanes coming out. There's no speed. So it's not like she has, or Kaido has to worry about Lings running into the main. He's going to be well prepared to fend this off quite easily. So this is a really, really good opener for Kaido. And ZVZ, if you have the weak build order, that means you're obligated to make something happen. So I'm curious how Cadenzi is actually going to even up this game. Overlord intercepts the Lings. How many Lings did Kaido build? I think it is 8 coming out for him.
Yeah, I mean, it should be layers on the way, of course, on both sides. So, man, yeah, this is just beautiful for Kaido. Obviously, the first few Lings are going to be attacking the hatchery for a little bit, but shouldn't be lasting much longer. He's going to try to target down the Zerglings when they come out. He does not. Oh my God, they glitched through the hatchery to escape. That's a little heartbreaking. Nice concaves here, though, by Cadenzi. Her Zerglings have gotten off several hits to weaken Kaido's, and they chase down a drone. They're trying to target down these drones. Gets one. She gets a second one. Trying to run away. Doesn't look like any more. Actually, one more fall, so it's 2 drones down, and the link count is still actually pretty high here.
Yeah, the control on the drones was really good. I think Cadenzi went a little bit too deep there, but she does, I guess, come back a little bit in the drone count. It is 10-9 now. She does have speed, so Kaido's got to be very careful to not let any slip by. Spire has started. Speed is just
targets down the drone in the front. Such a sick pick.
Did she just get 2 of them?
She did. The one in the back died too.
She got 2 drones there. Speed has just started for Kaido. Spire hasn't started, so the Spire is pretty far along for Cadenzi. Meanwhile, only 1 on gas for Kaido. So Cadenzi has a huge gas lead right now. Remember, it looks pretty close, only up 100 for her, but that's with no Spire built.
Oh yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, and also you got to keep in mind the hatchery difference. That's the larva difference just becomes more and more pronounced as the game goes on.
Looks like Kaido's decided that he can't necessarily hold or do anything with mass lings, so he's going to go into evolution chamber, put up some spores. But maps like this are very hard to defend. Ling, mutas, you can pick off Lings coming in to the natural at the very tiny choke in that gap, like on Tau Cross and what we see here on Sylphid. And then all you have to do is sneak in 2 Lings, and that's it. They can run amok in the main because the mutas can just intercept Lings coming from the natural to the main to defend.
Right. Well, the other thing is that after losing so many drones to that Zergling harass, Kaido now has to lose even more drones to build all of these spore colonies. He's also building a Spire at the same time, and I almost never see spores and Spire like together because there's also no spores in the main.
I love Cadenzi's position simply because of how Kaido's building his buildings. His Spire, look how far away it is from that spore. He's going to build 3 sunkens or 3 spores sunken and spores at his natural, but it still exposes the choke. The Spire is exposed. The extractor is exposed there. Sure, he's going to save his main, but that gives Cadenzi complete map control. She's already here.
Oh my God, this is so fast. I definitely don't think Kaido expected quite this timing. The Spore's going to finish, but it's just he's lost 3 more drones.
Yeah, but she can just range the extractor. She can range the Spire forever.
Yeah, especially through the extractor too, because of the bounces.
Yeah, Kaido can't do anything. He's not even mining gas. She has 4 mutas. He can only build 2 of them, and that's if he even has money. Doesn't even have the minerals for it.
Cadenzi also has a ton of Zerglings back at home too. So obviously those are primarily defensive, but a ton of Zerglings, mutas, everything. But only 1 hatchery. So at this point, you gotta really start thinking. Only 1 hatchery. So you gotta start thinking. Okay, when's the tipping point? How long does Kaido have to hang on until that hatchery advantage starts kicking in?
He's gonna build a 3rd spore, but that still doesn't cover
I know,
extractor in the Spire. It's just it saves the lair. Actually, the lair was actually exposed at that position. I didn't even realize that. Everything is so exposed on this particular base layout. Now here comes Cadenzi with all of her Lings and all of her Mutalisks. I think she just wants to end this.
Yeah, definitely looks like it. 7 mutas, I think, maybe 8, and that is 8 more than Kaido has. Obviously, spores are very, very good against mutas. Their DPS is insane. So trying to dive and pick one off would be a little overzealous. So let's see what happens when you combine that huge muta advantage with a ton of Zerglings on the ground.
She's built more Mutalisks. Can she find an opening to get these Lings in? Doesn't look like it. And actually, Kaido, he's got 16 drones, so he's got his econ rolling now. She's trying to come in here, but I'm getting a bit worried that we haven't taken a natural yet. She loses a muta for free. Sure, she has a lot. She's got 9 mutas, but can she actually bulldoze down 3-4 spores? I don't know.
Let's see if he snipes the free muta back home with the Scourge as it pops out.
She's gonna kill this spore.
Yeah, I mean, you can absolutely dive on one spore, definitely not two. You can also just bounce the glaives off the Spire. Killing the Spire just solidifies air control. There's only 3 mutas in production, a couple starting to pop out. Now there's Scourge out, and so Kaido may just barely have a staging area here. Can't fight mutas, and Scourge do connect. They do take out one of Cadenzi's mutas. There's only 2 mutas here for Kaido though, and the Spire is dropping lower and lower. 40 HP, 17, and it goes down.
Goodbye Spire, and now we have nothing to actually catch up versus Cadenzi. Like, where do you put the Spire now? You're gonna put it in your mineral line, I guess. That's the only way that it's not gonna get picked off. But she still doesn't have a natural. Kaido does have double gas going for him. Oh, we are going to try to get into the Nat.
I mean, this is like a control group of mutas. Like, spores are good. They're not that good.
This is actually what she picks off a muta too. Now the mineral line is exposed. A counterattack though, 5 mutas. Ooh. But if we lose all 5 mutas, we have no anti-air. Well, we have the spores, but we don't have any other mutalist.
I mean, this is close. Cadenzi can absolutely micro down a spore. She's actually just sitting there. No micro required. Ling counterattack here as well. And if the mutas don't do it, the Lings are going to kill everything else.
This is a crazy game. 5 mutas versus 7. Sure, Cadenzi's going to win that fight, but
Cadenzi only has 3 workers. 2 workers.
Yeah, she has no workers left.
Oh my god.
And Kaido has spores in his main.
Now he just needs to take all of his workers and build spores, but the Lings are coming in too, so it's actually not even that simple. The Lings actually going after the spores in the main, drones, Lings, everything, trying to hold on here. Mutas can't help because the spore, actually double spores there. Some idle mutas out here too. This is so crazy. An entire control group of mutas here. Cadenzi has so much, but also so little. No workers back at home.
Absolutely no workers. Lings are in the main focusing down spores. There's no spores, I don't think, at the natural. So once these goes down, the mutas get intercepted.
Oh yeah, they're taking so many hits. There are rather a couple of spores down here. A lot of help for these mutas, but not a lot of mutas. GG, Kaido taps out. Cadenzi takes game number 1 of our elimination match.
Yeah, and Kaido, just the spores are out of place. The Spire was out of place. Everything else was perfect. He hit like twice as many workers. The backstab was amazing. If he just didn't lose the Spire, I think he would have actually, it was what, 11 mutas versus 5 at the end? I saw he had like 400 minerals.
Not close. I mean, he was really leaning in on those spores, which makes me wonder why also it was, they weren't like better placed. That Spire is like one of the weirdest Spire placements I've ever seen because it's a mastermind. I remember watching the Spore versus Muta God Tai 2 beat everybody who's trying to run their mutas into these spores. No, it's like the I don't know, Zodiac pentagram kind of evil eye of Zerg right there. Protects everything with immaculate spore placement. That's not what Kaido has. And so we've gotten to see a kind of a wide variety of Kaido games. Unfortunately, he hasn't really had a lot of success here in BSL, and he's going to have to turn it around in game number 2. The map is La Mancha, and this puts him 1 game away from being eliminated from the BSL, and Cadenzi 1 game away of advancing on to our final match of the night. All right, here we go. The map is La Mancha, and in the upper left-hand corner in the white playing Zerg from the UK and Korea, I guess, is Cadenzi.
And in the top right, we've got the purple Zerg. He needs a victory, otherwise he's gone. It is Kaido. So that was pretty good from Cadenzi. I like that. She also apparently has that killer instinct that a lot of players don't have. She saw an opportunity to go for it, and I said, what's the weak point of going spores is that the mutas can just sit at that choke. And that's what happened. The mutas sat at the choke, the Lings ran in, and you saw Kaido try and send Lings in from the nap to save them. They couldn't get through those mutas that just sat there. So Denzi had good success with the overpull. I would probably go for that again. But Kaido had a really good opener with 12 hatch. It doesn't get better than that, really. Oh, but also Cadenzi in the early game, how many drones did she snipe? She got like 2 in the first go,
and then
the
maybe
second
2
time,
more?
2 more. That was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and it's so many drones. Yeah, Kaido just never had the worker lead from there on out. Now, another lead that Cadenzi has this game is the scouting lead, which is really important in ZVZ. You just know what to do, and your opponent is completely blind. So a big advantage for sure. And I mean, it's not immediate. The Overlord's pretty slow, but by the time the Overlord gets there, the opening build has already been decided. But it really does help you figure out what do they have and what are they doing with it.
We do have overpull again from Cadenzi. Meanwhile, Kaido, he also has gone for an overpull. He does have gas. Oh, he has an extremely fast gas. So actually, what, it was gas before pool. So he's going to have a gas lead here. And if we look at how much extra gas he actually has, it looks like it's basically exactly 1 Mutalisk. So that might catch Cadenzi off guard, whether she has 1 less Muta or 1 less set of Scourges. Let's look at the lair timing. I think that Cadenzi will have a slightly faster lair. Or is she going to get speed first? Nope, lair.
Yeah, insta lair. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of one of the hallmarks of watching Cadenzi play, especially in ZVZ, is her Mutalisk control. If you guys want to learn to Muta Micro like Cadenzi, she has an excellent hour-long Muta Micro tutorial. If you wanted to learn everything possible there is to know, I think there's a great Team Liquid thread up on it, and it's definitely something that you can tell from watching her play. The only issue is obviously the builds coming up until that point. So we had a 3-minute, 30-second game earlier, and that last game was really, really clutch. But you saw in the end, it was the Muta control that really helped out quite a bit. So let's see what this game looks like, because we haven't quite gotten there yet. It's a faster layer for Cadenzi, like you said, but not by much.
I want to know what Kaido did here, because if we look at the resources, he's got more resources of everything, and he has 1 extra drone. How did that happen? 1 drone does matter, especially when you've had it in the whole game. So Kaido with a good lead here. Cadenzi is coming out. Are they fighting on the ramp? No, they are just setting up a contain on both sides.
This is our Zerg pixel art. Like, how nice does your contain look?
Snuck out 2 lings.
Uh-oh. Oh, these are those oh, who was the guy that used to do that? Soul Key used to do this all the time. Just randomly sneak out lings and your drones are dead. So here we go. Coming into the main, he's going to find another drone. He actually might deny, yeah, that drone for sure. No hatchery for you.
No, and are there any lings in the main? There are no lings. So actually going to get multiple drone kills. This might be game-ending damage.
Tragedy. That's 2 drones already down. GG. Kaido taps out, and Cadenzi. What? Look,
to be fair, 2 lings are going to kill so many drones. You only had 10, right? So when losing 2 is 20% of your drone count.
Does that count as revenge? Live by the 3-minute game, die by the 3-minute game?
But look at this. They had the same build.
Yeah.
Kaido had 150 more than Cadenzi. I don't know how that's possible, because it... Look, okay.
Mysteries of the universe. Okay. Look, hashtag things Zerg does. I don't know what just happened there. Turns out sneaking lings out of your base is a useful talent to have. So congratulations to Cadenzi. Wow. What a win.
Wow.
What a win. And that advances her on to the final game tonight to qualify for the round of 16. But before she does, obviously there's one final obstacle in her path. Another ZVZ.
Yeah, another ZVZ. We saw Crossy go for the 9 pool, but now I don't think Cadenzi's going to go for 12 hatch again. I actually think she might go 9 pool and Crossy might go 12 hatch. I just have a feeling. I just have a feeling.
I mean, you and every Zerg player out there, so it's pretty interesting to see the mindset that players have when it comes to making decisions that you need information for that you don't have. So it's one of the beautiful things about imperfect info. So I'm excited. One of these players is going to advance on to the round of 16. Cadenzi has never been there. This is her first time in BSL Pro League. but she's the champion of Gosu League and absolutely deserves to be here. For Crossy, he's been here a couple times before, but has not had a whole lot of success advancing deep into like the postseason or the playoffs rather for BSL. So I'm excited to see what happens. This is game number 1 of our final best of 3 of the round of 24. One of these players advances on, one of them does not. So let's get into our first game on Neo Sylphid to find out who it's going to be. All right, here we go in the 12 o'clock location in the red. From Canada and Korea, it's Crossy.
And in the bottom left, in the blue, we have Cadenzi. So Cadenzi with the 12 hatch, then having success with Overpool. So I would go for that again. Unlucky for her this time. She's not going to be scouting Crossy first. Meanwhile, Crossy is going to scout first, and that is massive. And ZVZ getting a full read on how many lings it is, how many drones it is. If you sneak a drone, that might be an all-in being triggered from Crossy.
It's so crazy. It's like, oh, you have one too many drones. Now I can kill you. Well, it shouldn't be like that, but it is. Yeah, very, very volatile. And I think one thing's for sure, we're not going to see another 12 hatch.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see 12 hatch unless it's Crossy going for that. So let's see. We do have Overlords coming out from both players. Is anybody going to 12 hatch, or is it just going to be Overpool? At least this is a different build from Crossy so far, because remember, he 9-pooled earlier. Crossy's getting a lot of money.
Oh my, those are drones.
It is an Overpool from Cadenzi, so no switch up here. Crossy could still go 12
there
pool.
It is.
There
okay.
it is.
So Overpool versus 12 pool.
So Crossy has the advantage.
For sure.
Yes. Crossy's got the build order advantage, a slightly better drone count. His gas is going to be, I guess, a little bit later. Oh, I was expecting him to take it, but he's not taking it just yet. Okay, there he goes. And look at the worker count. Already up 1 worker for Crossy just from build or just from the initial stages alone. So this is a great opener for him.
Yeah, I mean, the build order advantage, kind of the way you can think about it in ZVZ is if the latest, whoever builds their pool later, and still survives wins. So you want to delay the pool for as long as you can, but not too long, otherwise you die. So really volatile, but Crossy's build delayed it for just slightly longer, and that means that in some small ways he has an advantage.
It's funny because that statement is so true. Who can delay the pool the longest and safely do it? Because back in the day when I played Zerg, used to play with Day 9 before he was Day 9. I remember a game in particular, I was 12 on Lost Temple. He was 3. So this is how long ago it was. But
Lost Temple.
We instantly scouted each other. We built like 6 hatches before a pool. Because we knew what we were doing. But Cadenzi has hidden some lings, and the Overlord doesn't see it.
Yeah, I mean, we all know the power of Cadenzi's hidden lings. 4-minute death machines. And speed on the way.
Oh, this is brilliant. She's just waiting and hiding them. She's going to have like 8 lings. Cross only thinks it's 4.
Yeah, well, was it 4 or 2?
Now, if Crossy is really on top of it, he would count the drones, right? Why do you have the same amount of drones as me and less lings?
Yeah.
But that's some next level stuff. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody talk about that, but he is continuing to build lings.
Yep.
So his read is correct. And now the Overlord does see that all the lings are coming out.
Yep. You know, they're both getting speed, but Cadenzi's speed is about to kick in. And then not only, oh no, she doesn't know. Okay, I thought she was going down to the bottom right there for a second. I was like, wait a second, what are we doing? So yeah, there it goes. And the natural expansion, I mean, this is just going to be pretty difficult. Going with less Zerglings before the rest of the Speedlings catch up, and I don't think that's a fight she can win.
Yeah, now Crossy's speed is about to kick in, so she's got to be very careful that he doesn't just jump on top of this.
Oh, this is so dangerous. Crossy's got more lings.
Yeah, his Spire is a little bit later, but it's not anything meaningful because by the time the mutas get across the map, the mutas should pop out for Crossy. And now he has second hatch, so he's got more larva flat out.
Yeah, flat more larva, same number of drones right now, so definitely something that might change in the future with that extra larva, but for now is at least a little bit even. One Zergling trying to sneak in, and it does. how does it happen? I mean, there's already a Zerg, there's already an Overlord getting information. But if that thing could just take some extra attention away from Crossy, that could actually change a lot.
Can Crossy actually bust through? He's gonna try and do it. There is a small
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Yeah, there was a small gap, immediately closed, but I think the concave is not effective enough. Trying to use superior Zergling numbers to bust through here. Cadenzi holding on, holding the concave with just single-digit numbers of lings, but there's not enough. In the end, Crossy busts through. Now there is a sunken morphing, so let's see if that is in time. One drone taking damage, another couple in the red zone.
Oh.
The Zerglings, it's not even morphed into a sunken just yet. Single Zerglings fighting drones, and in the end, I think only one drone died.
Yeah, but she did lose one drone. The Spire has come up.
Oh, it's just two
for
drones.
Cadenzi.
Oh no, it's one plus the sunken. Yeah.
And the Spire is done for Crossy, but Crossy didn't have to do a full drone pull, so he's got better econ overall. He's gonna be able to get out his Mutalisk. I don't even know if she was able to make 3 Mutalisks. It looked like she was only able to build 2. Mutas come in. Oh, did she leave her Overlord up there?
Yeah, so the Overlord's gonna die for free.
Oh no, a connection on the Scourge.
Yeah, and another Scourge actually looks pretty close. Oh, nice Chinese triangle, trying to glitch it out. Turns around for the micro shot and gets it.
Yeah, really good control there, but she lost the drone and she lost mining time, so actually it's Crossy that has way more Mutalisks, but he's gonna be careful.
Yeah, more Mutas and Scourge coming in for Cadenzi.
Oh, look at that.
Retreating back, look at the moving shot, more Scourge. Actually, these will connect. Crossy trying to micro against the Scourge, but he's gonna hit the Mutas there as well. Turns around, gets the shot on the Scourge, but did he target down a drone? Oh no, it was the one Zergling killing off a drone. So another sneaky Zergling from Cadenzi to even up the drone count at 7 apiece.
7 drones for both players, but still like Crossy's position a bit more. He is starting to build more drones. Meanwhile, Cadenzi, she doesn't really have the econ to go for drones and Mutalisks at this point. She's just trying to get out as many Mutalisks and Scourge as possible. How many Mutas do we have for Crossy? I think it's 5 versus 2 for Cadenzi and 4 Scourges. Yeah, there are 6 Scourges, but only 2 Mutas. And the Muta control from Crossy was really good there, so I'm a bit worried that none of these Scourge are actually going to connect.
Well, I mean, numbers of Scourge change a lot depending on like if there's just like 2 or 4 chasing your Mutas as opposed to like 10. The connection rate just skyrockets, obviously. So, more is maybe better for Scourge, but you can't, forsake the Muta count because obviously you can just stand there and kill them all if the Mutas are too high. So
Cadenzi's supply block.
Delicate balance, losing another Overlord. Yeah, the supply blocker.
Crossy's supply block too, but Cadenzi must do something now. Here she comes. She has so many Scourges, but it's so hard to control Scourge and Muta together.
Oh, underneath, trying to slingshot them out, getting microed against. Oh my god, look at the control here. Crossy trying to take the Scourge out and gets rid of all of them. But who has more Mutas? I think it's actually Crossy. So close in the end. It's 2 on 3. One more reinforcing Muta comes in, turning around. Cadenzi, I think, has the higher HP. It's close, but actually no, Crossy comes out on top. Cadenzi, GG's, and Crossy takes the Muta battle to claim game number 1.
Really good control from Crossy there. And I thought Cadenzi might actually get into the main with the lings in the beginning, but too many lings for Crossy. And then just barely not enough lings for Cadenzi. Those 2 lings got it. What? 2 lings, right? Got in and killed like 2 drones. Well, killed 1 and forced a sunken. That's all he needed.
Well, actually, so yeah, Cadenzi got in and then killed a couple of extra bonus slings like underneath the Mutas, which is super clutch. I was like, wait a second, they both have 7 drones, which is actually like no money coming in. So you have to just hit that Muta key as much as possible, except you have to find the precious balance between Mutas and Scourge. I guess Crossy just hit that at the end.
Yeah, he never had to drone pull, whereas Cadenzi did.
Oh, that's right.
So that affects your econ so much. So Crossy 1 game away from making it to round of 16, and Cadenzi 1 game away from being eliminated. And I think that would be all of the Gosu League players eliminated.
It's hard when you make your first, the hatching of our Gosu egg. You break out into the real Pro League world, and it's a scary, harsh place. It's a rough one, but look, it's best of 3 for a reason, so Cadenzi can absolutely come back from here on out. Crossy, still fantastically good player, negative win rate in ZVZ in Pro League, though, so didn't expect to see that one versus no win rate for Cadenzi. But let's see what happens as we get into game number 2. The map is La Mancha. It's ZVZ. Crossy 1 game away from advancing on to the BSL Season 9 round of 16. All right, now game number 2, starting in the upper left-hand corner in the red from America. I mean, the American continent. It's Crossy.
And in the bottom left, in the blue, we have Cadenzi. Now I'm thinking back to La Mancha that we just saw versus Kaido. Didn't Cadenzi scout correctly versus Kaido?
Yes.
I think she did, but now she's going vertical.
How do they do it, Nyokin?
How do they do it?
There's some conspiracy about this.
Well, Cadenzi has had, even though she lost, the overpool looked pretty good, so I would expect to see that again. And I like the 12 pool from Crossy, but maybe she's feeling like she needs to make something happen, so maybe she'll fall back on the 12 hatch that she wanted to use.
I mean, last game, Crossy scouted her first, and she scouted second, well, last, whatever you want to call it, and Crossy had the build order advantage. So obviously that already puts you in not the greatest spot in the game. So let's see what Cadenzi can do to even that up this time. Obviously there's not a whole lot of decisions that you can make other than trying a middle of the road build. And out of the full gamut of builds that Zerg can do, like 9 pool, 12 pool, they're kind of right in there. But I mean, La Mancha is at least a little bit of a bigger map, so the rush distance is slightly longer. And as Zero is showing us, it is Cadenzi that is going for the 9 pool.
No, it's 12 pool from both.
Oh, is it 12 pool? Oh, yeah, you're right.
Identical builds. So this is going to be a test of who has better game sense, better micro, better everything, because everything is exactly the same. Both players get a first scout off.
How dare they? Yes.
So they can see what each other's doing.
I'm glad you're here to count supply for me, Nayokin. But I don't know who's going to come out ahead in this, not only because the builds are even, but also because it doesn't look like there's really any deviation. Both getting their hatcheries down at basically the exact same second. And I mean, I guess they both know exactly what's going on. Although I will say the scouting position is maybe a little bit better for Cadenzi because her Overlord sees the hatchery first, and it's going to take longer for Crossy's Overlord to see her hatch.
Yeah, so that's a good scout for Cadenzi so far. She comes in, it's going to see exactly what's going on. Crossy is going to see that this is basically the same thing. Is anybody going to go speed first? Okay, both players go speed first.
So this is really interesting. Just that little second of seeing the hatchery first told Cadenzi that she could sneak in like an extra drone. So that's that 1 drone advantage. And it's the little things like that that actually make a big difference in ZVZ.
It makes a huge difference. I was saying yesterday it's like 50 minerals per minute or 60 minerals per minute. That adds up, especially in ZVZ. So we'll see if she can actually compound that lead. Crossy is moving across the map, trying to get something done with these lings. We'll wait and see if Cadenzi wants to hide a couple lings like she tried to do last game. She's trying to intercept these in the middle of the map. She catches one, doesn't take it down just yet, though.
Game's over, Nyokin.
It's over.
2 hits on that Zergling, useless. Just attack it with your own Zerglings. Put it out of its misery.
And now Crossy has actually evened up the drone count, and he's actually the one ahead now. So he's the one that snuck in the extra drone. Lair timing is identical. Everything is exactly the same other than the one. Actually, he's got 2 extra drones now. He's going to have a 13th pretty soon. Now, that's a lot of econ if Cadenzi doesn't do anything about it. That's an extractor and 1 drone on gas at the natural.
Damn.
That's a big move.
Yeah, it's for sure. I mean, second gases are the ultimate in luxury, if you can get away with it. So we don't have any player going for that just yet. Slightly higher for Crossy on the gas count, slightly more minerals for Cadenzi, and there's that Spire going down faster for Cadenzi, but shouldn't be by much.
Yeah, Spire coming down for Crossy. Cadenzi moving across the map a little bit, not going to make anything happen. Overlord at the natural for both players so they can see exactly what the link count is. There's slightly more for Cadenzi right now, but Crossy has broken off 2 of them looking for a backstab at any point.
So the stream is actually faster than the relay that we're getting, which is... Is it?
No.
Oh, it's like 1 second off. Oh my God. I swear time's dilating a little bit. It's 6 a.m., so that's my excuse. Thanks for counting numbers for me once again, Nyokin. Here we go. Creep colony at the front.
Oh, they snuck in.
Let's see if they can get a kill. Oh my God. Oh, one more hit and gets it. Okay, so a huge victory for Crossy there. Everybody in the world wants to trade lings for drones.
Yeah, but it looks like Cadenzi just has so many more lings. It just felt like she had like 10 more extra lings. Sunken is coming up. Drone count is 14 to 11, and Crossy lost 2 lings right there. He's pulling off drones. Cadenzi, she's got to win with this fight, I think.
I think she does, but I mean, look at how good it looks. She has so many lings here, but that Sunken is just, I don't know, infinity damage. Let's see if she can jump on it and get the damage done that she needs. Going for it right now. It has to target out the Sunkens. The Zergling count is evening up, pulling back. Crossy holds at his natural.
There's too many lanes for Crossy. Half of the lanes were attacking that Sunken. There's no way that Sunken's going to get taken down. And now the mutas are coming out for both Crossy and Cadenzi. I saw 2 extra Scourge for Cadenzi. Meanwhile, Crossy's the one going basically pure muta. So if he can micro them well, Scourge will never connect. But it's only 2 or 3 for now.
Yeah, it's only a few. Easy to micro against. Well, double quotes easy. It's definitely not something you can get for free. Trying to float over the eggs and get a free kill on any mutas that pop out. But needs to pull the second one up there. One chasing these mutas a little bit lazily. What are we doing here? Oh, wow, gets the connection. So that's money. And a muta pops out, gets the connection. A beautiful hit there by Cadenzi to get some really crucial muta damage.
Yeah, that's big for Cadenzi. Now, where are the mutalists for Cadenzi? Because they're flying in the center of the map. She's got like 4. I would have loved for her to use those Scourges to draw the mutas to the top and then hit the natural drones. But it's still 5 mutas versus 4 for Cadenzi. Crossy, he's got more gas. He's got better econ, 3 more drones. He's got way more gas, actually. So he's just going to start skyrocketing in terms of the muta count. Also, Cadenzi has more Scourges, so once those are wiped out, she's got to get connections on them. Otherwise, Crossy's just going to win this game. How many mutas? It's only 5. How many for Crossy? 6? I guess it's not that many.
Not that many, and superior Scourge count. Picking off a free Overlord is kind of the bonus zone here. You can't... Oh, actually getting a drone, getting 2 drones. Well, huge great moves. Yeah, trying to get the third one, but it pops into the gas geyser at the last second. Pulling back, here's the Ling counterattack coming in from Crossy. There are Lings back at home, but it's actually not that many. Cadenzi's mutas are actually getting a lot of value here, picking off Lings as they pull back. Keep the Scourge safe from the mutas. Here come the Zerglings. They're running on into the natural. They can snipe drones in return. That would be absolutely crucial. Instead, it's going to be a muta fight here, trying to micro against the Scourge. More Scourge coming in for Crossy. Let's see if they can connect onto the mutas. They don't. Scourge still in the air for Cadenzi, but they're not all hotkeyed. Now, finally, moving in. The moving shot. The micro really good from Crossy. More mutas coming in. And I think
he's done it.
Crossy did it. The mutas, the health bars, they're dropping low, and that's gonna do it. The last muta falls, and Crossy will eliminate Cadenzi for the 2nd game in a row. Oh my God, that was so clutch. The micro there is insane. It all comes down to one fight, and that's basically it. A few little tiny Zerglings running here and there to try to maybe get in, kill a bunch of drones, but it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah. Good try by Cadenzi. The Scourges, there's just too many. Way too many. It's so hard to control Scourge with mutalists. Like you saw them, they were just kind of sitting there. But meanwhile, Crossy just had so many mutas, he able to micro them the whole time. But he had impeccable muta control. You saw him, he's like in and out, just turning around, killing those Scourges left and right. Really nicely done.
Wow, what a game. That was super intense. I love how we keep the most exciting, intense game for the last one of the day when we're both the most tired, but what a way to, we saved the best for last. So what a crazy series. Congratulations to Crossy. He makes it in to the round of 16. It's not like this is a totally unheard of thing for him, but I definitely expected that to be a really hard fought match. So I'm glad it lived up to my expectations.
Yeah, and Cadenzi played very well. Unfortunately, that first game, but I guess she kind of balanced out with the Kaido game, with the 4-minute game.
I mean, it's not like it's just like, one and done. Came back, defeated Kaido. Once again, good to see him making it into Pro League without having to go through like Gosu League or Chobo League or anything. He's just good. So hopefully we see a lot of these old faces back next season. Once again, a lot of these players qualified through Gosu League, so that's always an option. For the rest of this Pro League, it's going to be down to the round of 16. If you want to find out who is going to be in the round of 16, well, you can check Liquipedia, who is also coincidentally one of our sponsors. You can also stick around because after today's broadcast, in just a few minutes, we will have Mr. and Mrs. Zero come up and do the group draw for the round of 16 to find out who will be where, what the groups look like, as we sprinkle in the top 4 from last season into the players who have qualified from the round of 24. Any faces that stand out to you, Nyokin?
No, but I want to say that I did see something in the chat from True Touch. I saw it. Don't act like I didn't see it, True Touch. I saw it. He requested to be in Bonus group.
Oh,
so
snap.
I'm hoping that there's the Karolcha touch.
Yeah.
Where she draws him out. Do it. I hope he jinxes himself.
There's this old EDM band called Swedish House Mafia. This is the Polish Brood War Mafia. They're getting together again. It's going to be an exciting group draw because you have champions from basically every season of BSL all in the round of 16. We've got really highly placed players like, I guess, TT1 really performed super well last season. We had got newcomers like Ziki back out of nowhere, crushing it. How's he going to do? Of course, Bonith, BSL champion, coming back for revenge for round 2. It's like True Touch wins back-to-back BSLs, and now Bonith's got to see if he can do it too. So all the big names, all the BSL faces and champions are coming up next in the group draw. If you guys want to stick around, please do, and check out what the groups are going to look like for the round of 16. But for Nyokin and I, that's going to do it.
That is it.
We did it. We survived 3 days of 6 groups of 24 players.
Yeah, yesterday was grueling, but those games were really good. The TVT's really, really good. And these games were good too. Quick, but good. Really good muted control from both sides. And yeah, it was great.
So that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us for the round of 24. We'll be back next week for the start of the round of 16. But in the meantime, stick around and enjoy the round of 16 group selection coming up in just a few minutes. I guess I'll also leave Zero to do the thanking of the Patreons, or is that something we're doing now too? Okay, I will thank the Patreons. Okay, here it comes. Thank you so much for supporting the BSL. You can do that through many ways. If you have no money, then you can at least click the follow button. And if you do, then you can consider supporting the BSL on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/bombastic and be as awesome as STRFKR, Striker, ARG Sabbath, Capjack, Moontang, Spacewalk, Lingdom Pump, and LML, who have all supported at gigantic monetary contributions. So we definitely thank them. And if any of the other Patreons you see on your screen or yourself want me to read your name, then you can support patreon.com/bombastic at $20 and above and get your name read out on stream, as well as doing quite a bit to help support the BSL. As well as a big shout out to our sponsors at Blizzard, Esport Fund, and Liquipedia for all helping make the $2,000 prize pool for BSL Season 9 and the even larger prize pool for BSL Season 10 possible. So a big thanks to them and to all of you out there for helping support the BSL. So that's it. We did it. We're done. I'm going to fall over. You're going to take an hour to get home on the subway. So one of us, I got the build order advantage here for sure.
Have the build order.
Okay. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. We hope to see you back here again next week for the exciting round of 16. And stick around to see which players are going to be in which groups for that round of 16. As the round of 16 group draw is coming up next. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with that.